All right. So I've been streaming for just over a year now, and I get asked at least once a week, who are some big streamers that I pay attention to? Who am I watching? And really, I'm not really paying attention to that many big streamers. Mostly, I stick with small streamers, and that's what I answer. And then I shout out a couple of the people I've networked with who are roughly my size or a little bit bigger, such as Cooper's Charms, Sad Posture, Ferrari Kai, and Brenstar. These are all fantastic creators, still technically small streamers though. But I enjoy them. I've networked a lot with their communities, and I think they've all fostered a fantastic community. But what about those 100, 500, even a million follower or subscriber channels? So my first one is Linus Tech Tips. So I've been following Linus Tech Tips, or LMG, Linus Media Group, for 3 or 4 years. I think they've been around for 7 or 8, and I think they're doing a fantastic job. So they do almost daily, if not daily content, probably actually daily content. They've got different people that do presenting or have different fortes that they take on, and I think their content is educational and entertaining. A lot of it, they've been more open about their business side, which interests me personally. Linus has talked about, sponsorships that they've gone to or had to cut off, even things like, timing of the day that they put videos out and how well they do on YouTube. They've put enough content out that they've got a lot of these metrics that they're able to look at, and it's really cool. And me myself, I've built 5 or 6 computers over the past 20 years. And so I'm able to relate to a lot of the problems that they've run into by building machines or just testing things. And so I get to use them as a way to stay informed on computer hardware and be lazy, technically. So here's a quick clip from Linus Tech Tips. We'll watch this really.
I thought for sure this was fake. But move aside, Logitech. Smell that? It's a new king of gaming keyboards.
Wait, is that right?
The 1% keyboard. You're gonna be hitting so many headshots, all you need is F to pay respects. Some assembly required. We're gonna need a bigger computer. Time to install the drivers. Let's go to Corsair.com.
Yeah.
Time to pay respects. I thought for sure.
Obviously a parody, the 1% keyboard. That's ridiculous. But they have fun. They're putting out content daily. They are testing shorts. They're doing YouTube video. And they're even doing live with YouTube and floatplane.com. So it's really cool. They're doing a lot of different things. And I think I get to look at them and learn from them. The second one on my list is Saffron Olive. So Saffron Olive is an MTG Magic the Gathering creator, and he's a partner with mtggoldfish.com, which is a fantastic website to get information on current cards, their prices, and what's trending. And then Seth, better known as Saffron Olive, does live on Twitch, and he does pre-recorded on YouTube, and I think he is phenomenal. So he's got a deep knowledge of the game because he's been playing for almost 20 years. He is very good at connecting with community. And lastly, he creates these decks that are very interesting. So he has a segment of his channels called Against the Odds, where they make a deck that is what they consider janky. And then he plays those decks, and they're not built to be super competitive, but they're built to be interesting. And Saffron Olive, being a very good Magic player, is able to show how these decks pop off. And it's very interesting, at least to me. So let's take a look at Saffron Olive and what he has done.
Today we're looking at the very real,
Very excited voice. Could be overwhelming for some.
Urza and Mishra are brothers. Life is great until they each find half of an ancient Thran power stone, which leads to a falling out between the two, since both brothers want the entire power stone. This in turn leads to the brothers going to war, the Brothers' War. They fight each other with the help of various machines they create. After decades of fighting, which decimates much of Dominaria, the war finally comes to a climax on the verdant island of Argoth. It's here where Optimus Prime dramatically defeats Megatron and the Decepticons in the most epic battle the multiverse has ever seen. At this point, Starscream escapes into space, Mishra is consumed by
This might be a
Phyrexians,
parody.
Sam and Michaela fall in love, and Urza activates the Golgothian Silex, which destroys Argoth, starts an ice age, and ignites Urza's spark, turning him into a planeswalker so he can chase down the fleeing Starscream and help Scrap finally get that acorn.
So all of those cards are real cards, including the Transformer ones. They're from a specialty collector set. But he was able to do a fan fiction and create his own story, which was a lot of fun. But Seth, he's got a deep, deep knowledge of Magic the Gathering, and he has created a community where people get to watch him create these decks and connect over, the jank. My next creator, the third on my list, she is mostly a just chatting streamer nowadays because she is pushing 2 million followers on Twitch. And she goes live about once, maybe twice a week. And even though she's got severe Tourette's, she doesn't let that slow her down. It's Sweet Anita. She is very good at connecting to her audience, having empathy with the audience, and then explaining her own struggles with Tourette's, because her Tourette's is super bad. And when she gets nervous or flustered, it comes out in spades. And so we're going to watch a quick clip from Sweet Anita. Disclaimer, NSFW language on this, because that's what happens when her type of Tourette's is triggered. So let's watch that real quick. Where's my mouse?
My tits, it's OTV.
Here, let's refresh.
I'm here to fuck. I'm here to swear at you for a little while. I figured it'd be funnier if I didn't tell you why. So fuck off. I have the best content. Fuck the best content tits. The best tits. The best tits in the.
So that right there, you see how she gets so flustered and like one tick starts and then another one on top of it because she is worried about that first one. And then, 13 ticks later, she's just got to take a step back, take a breath, laugh at herself, and continue on. And that's why it's fun to watch Sweet Anita. It's because she's able to laugh at herself and, have a go at it, as she might say. And so if you are into like just chatting streams and relating to somebody and getting like a feel for what somebody with severe Tourette's is going through, I think her stream is a great one to check out. My next creator is a CGI artist god. His name is Ian Hubert. His main claim to fame is being one of the top Blender, which is a program for a 3D creation, Blender tutorial creators. So he's created 1-minute tutorials that people who are already in the industry or using Blender are able to pull out and, have things click because they're, stuck on something and they can search up what Ian has said. He has a Patreon with like 5,000 subscribers with a minimum sub of $3. So if you want some more inside information on his tutorials, that's a great place to go. And then he's done things like the special effects for the movie Prospect with Pedro Pascal. And then he also helped on a music video with Ed Sheeran. But he's a creator. He has been doing his own pet project where he puts out on YouTube little snippets for a pet project called Dynamo Dreams that I'm looking forward to incredibly. I'm really excited because I think he's been putting more work on it this last couple months. So I'm hoping for episode 2 here in the next quarter or so, and we'll see where that goes. But here is a quick 1-minute tutorial that Ian has done.
Okay, IK rigging. It's really straightforward. So you add your armature and extrude your mech leg or whatever, and add the control bone. In pose mode, select the control bone, then shift click on the bone you want to control, hit shift I, and you've got your IK constraint. It's that easy. If you go into edit mode, you could then parent like other IK chains to that chain. Just be sure you limit the chain distance in the settings, or you'll end up with like a dependency loop. It's a great way to make stuff look complex with very little rigging knowledge. Actually, if you're doing robotics or whatever, you can lock certain axes for certain bones and tweak the stiffness, which gives you some great control. And you might be thinking, man, I really wish I could make this bone do this specific thing. And well, that's when you start getting into all these other constraints. So if you don't know rigging basics, IK is a great way to get into it.
Way over my head. I don't do 3D, but it's interesting. And I'm really excited to see the things that Ian comes up with over the next year or two. Probably next 15 years, he'll be a household name. Wouldn't be surprised. This next one, he is a household name for a lot of people, especially I think like your mid-20s. I think he's got a lot of people interested in him. He had one of the biggest subathons on Twitch ever. He also moved to YouTube. He's been doing game shows. He does podcasts, live streaming, and then he's got multiple YouTube channels where he does pre-recorded content. His most recent thing was a chess boxing live. So if you haven't figured it out yet, it's Ludwig. Ludwig has been doing a whole bunch of stuff, trying and succeeding, sometimes failing. He always makes jokes about how much money he's losing. I think he might be losing money on events and then making money on the content he makes from events. Like, I think that's really what he's going through. He's not super open about his like business, but he is open about that he's got a team of people. I don't know how many he's got currently. I think it's like 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there. But it shows that if you're going to be putting out content almost daily, you need a team of people. And I think it's phenomenal that he's able to show that. And so here's a quick clip of Ludwig committing to the bit. This is the Luddy. So let's take a look at that. And I love that. Like, it's just, he was drunk at a party, he was dancing, and people made fun of it, and he was like, I'm going to own it. And I think that's one of his claims to fame. He owns it every time. He just is able to own it and then run with it and probably make money off of it. Like, if he hasn't copyrighted the Luddy yet, he probably will. Or he'll sell it to Fortnite and then, you know, sell it as a emote on there. So who knows? He's got big plans over the next few years. He does a goal setting, and he talks to stream about it. Like, here's my goals. And I think it's super interesting because you kind of get a glimpse into a creator's pathway that he started from, you know, just a Smash Brothers streamer to a full-fledged like media conglomerate. Like, not a conglomerate, not quite, but he's a full media group. Like, and he's getting to the point where he's got to hire people to really create the next thing because it's that big, which is really cool. So thanks for hanging out. Tell me your top 5. And if you like the real chill vibes, drop it on my channels, typically on Twitch, sometimes here on YouTube, and also subscribe because I'm trying to get to 1,000 so I can more or less move to YouTube and build a community here also. So appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out. Have a good day.